Hello and welcome everyone. So glad to be here with you tonight. My name is Amanda Hinman. If we have not yet met, I'm so glad to have you here. And Nancy Linneruth is one of my dear friends and colleagues. I'm so excited to have her joining us tonight. We are going to have a really powerful conversation about how to stop sabotaging your health goals. Can anyone relate to that? We know we have things that we want to up level or change in our health, right? And yet sometimes even with the best of intentions, life seems to get in the way. We get distracted. We, maybe feel, at least I can relate to feeling like I'm criticizing myself for not having strong enough willpower or not being prepared and intentional in the way that I would maybe want to at times. But today we're going to be having this powerful conversation. Like I said, my name is Amanda. If we're new, I'm the founder of Hinman Holistic Health, where we specialize in helping women to live their best life by being fully empowered and inspired to prioritize their nutrition, their lifestyle, their hormones, and overall health and vitality in a way that allows them to be at peak performance and to live their best life. And Nancy has been a coach of mine for, gosh, I think 2 years or so. Nancy, it's been a while.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have been so transformative in terms of really getting to the deeper layers, because we can talk tactics, right? We can talk all the time about, I know I need to get, more protein in, or if I go to bed earlier, that would help me relax and balance my metabolism and so on and so forth. Those are all the tactics. But oftentimes what gets in the way are the subconscious blocks that are below those tactics, of the things that even if we know logically what would be good for us, we don't always execute on them consistently. And that's where Nancy's specialty comes in. That's where she's helped me tremendously in a variety of different areas. But before we dive into that, I want to just share, I thought would be kind of a fun way to present. There's two things that I know to be true for sure if you want to ensure that you are going to never reach your health goals. Right? So if you want to be guaranteed that you will not reach your health goals, then do these two things. And the first is to use broad generalities and try and consume everything that's out there on the internet about what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and try and implement 5 million things all at once. Because let's be honest, there's no shortage of health information out there, right? That is not the problem. There is an abundance of health information and of diets and strategies and, choices and even supplements and pills and different things that you can try and that they promote as, this is going to give you more energy. This is going to make your skin more vibrant and glowing. This is going to ease digestive pain and bloating. There's no lack of solutions being presented. And the fastest way to ensure that you are never going to reach your health goals is to be trying to do it all and kind of take little bits and pieces, but not take the time to really understand what your body needs specifically, looking at the root causes and really getting clear on where is my body right now and how can I learn more to become empowered and to become focused in streamlined, customized approach that's going to work for my body. So that's one thing I know to be sure, is the number one way to not reach your goals. And the second way to not reach your goals, to be guaranteed that you will never reach your health goal, is to not address your underlying subconscious beliefs. Right? If we just think, hey, it's just another tactic, it's just another strategy, or you know what, I need to willpower, I need to try harder, and this diet is going to work this time, or this exercise plan is finally going to be the one that changes it all. Well, if we do that, that is definitely, without changing kind of the underlying identity and the stuff that's really at the core that we're maybe not even aware that we're not aware of, then we're going to be stuck. Maybe we'll see some progress for a short period of time, but we'll go back on that hamster wheel and come right back to the old patterns. And that's why Nancy is here today. I'm so glad to bring her in with us. Because like I said, Nancy Linneruth is an EFT, that stands for Emotional Freedom Technique or tapping expert. She has a just extensive background in both the psychological therapy realm and then also in her tapping, EFT training, but really is an expert helping us to recognize those unconscious blocks that are getting in the way that we may not even be aware of, and what we can do to start to shift those around. So without further ado, let me just have Nancy kind of step in and share a little bit more about what you have for us tonight.
Well, sure. I'll just say ordinarily, and most of the people I work with are primarily women business owners, and we're working on their subconscious blocks to really doing what they need to grow their business and get a bigger audience and allow themselves some support so that they can rest and all those good things that women entrepreneurs need. But the idea of the subconscious getting in your way of going after really doing what you know you need to do to get what you want, that's a pretty general universal thing. So in fact, you'll hear some stories later on of my working with clients for whom, yeah, we were focusing on their business stuff, and then up comes some health things. So when you're a business owner, your health is critical to your business, so it's all relevant. Let me see. Should I start this? Let me do my slide deck first. It's just got some background stuff and some basic stuff to have everyone sort of get a basic look at tapping. Okay. So today we're going to look at what tapping is, a little bit of the research behind it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. And we're going to talk about how you can use it to stop procrastinating and sabotaging your health goals. Now, is the screen sharing appropriately? It's not all kittywampus or anything.
Yeah, no, looks good.
Oh, good. Great. All right. So tapping is a technique that uses somewhere between 9 and 17 specific points on your face, your head, your hands, and your body. These are points that are used in acupuncture and acupressure, but we don't use any needles. They're very relaxing, and they're used for a ton of things in and out of the therapy world. So those are most of the tapping points that I use on that photo of me from, I don't know, 3 decades ago or something like that. Anyway, it is used in the mental health world for a lot of things, particularly now that the research is in there. It's used for a lot of different anxiety disorders like panic, phobias, generalized anxiety disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder. That's a big one. But it's also used for other issues, as you can see. And it's also being used by therapists and others with kids in and out of the classroom. It's used for medical issues like insomnia, chronic pain, certain issues where stress exacerbates the symptoms like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome is one of those, I know. And it's used to lower stress. It's used to reduce cravings, weight loss. It's used for improving performance in a lot of different areas. You might actually see some professional athletes tapping away in the dugout or before they do their chip shot on the golf course. All of this, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now, I use it, as I say, for getting at and releasing the subconscious rules and limitations and other kinds of blocks that hold people back from creating the life and business they want. And I'll tell you, there's great science for the mental health realm. They haven't gotten the science for the stuff that I do, but I don't care because I know it works. But let me tell you a little bit about the science that's been coming in now for particularly around mental health issues. When I first started using tapping back in 2006, there wasn't much out there in the terms of research studies, but now there's a lot of scientific studies supporting it. It supports the following 6 premises about tapping. I have to say that you can't say that research proves anything. We don't do it that way, apparently. I can only say that it supports this, but it supports it really strongly. First one is that tapping is effective in treating a range of clinical conditions. So studies show that tapping creates positive outcomes when treating issues like anxiety, depression, PTSD, phobias, anger, stress, concentration difficulties, insomnia, and performance blocks. It's also supporting the premise that tapping produces rapid results compared to conventional treatments. So they've even had studies out there that involved a single tapping session of just 30 to 60 minutes that resulted in statistically significant improvements. There's one where they tapped with some people who had PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And one single session, the symptoms went away. And when they checked back again in 30 days, they hadn't come back. And with the control group that didn't have the tapping, there was no change at all. Tapping also leads to durable benefits. So there was, somebody looked at 79 studies out there on tapping that did a follow-up anywhere between 30 days to a full 2 years later. 77 out of those 79 had improvements that lasted the full time.
It's really amazing because, like, when we think about it, it changes the nervous system response. You know, it like
It
gives
does.
new meaning. So it's like
Yeah.
really powerful.
And you can see it in biological markers that like hormone production, like cortisol comes way down. It changes cardiovascular function, immune response, a lot of other stuff. I'm not going to get into too much of the details. It's not that relevant here, but it's also, and this is something that people also tend to miss. The research shows that tapping is the critical component that produces results. It's not just placebo, even though I'm a big fan of the placebo effect. I really think it's cool that your mind can cause physical changes. But it's not just the placebo, and it's not just suggestion, or as some people will try to tell me, well, you just distracted me with all this tapping stuff. It's not that. It's the actual tapping on these points. And the research also supports that tapping sends signals to specific areas of the brain. It's, yeah, like you say, Amanda, it's like it changes your brain. So particularly the amygdala can be affected, and the amygdala is where your fight, flight, or freeze response gets triggered. So it's great for stress relief. So if stress is a big issue for you, a little bit of tapping can go a really long way. But
Well,
as I
let's
say,
be honest, when I find this, sorry to jump in here, but I'm just going to kind of tie this to so much of the work that we do with our clients is on some route, there's a core of stress, meaning whether it be a time scheduling, experience of stress, if it's uncertainty or lack of familiarity or even lack of enjoyment around different food choices or eating out or food prep, there's usually some element, if not multiple elements of stress, meaning the body, the brain, the amygdala part of the brain is being triggered and primed to be more on hyper alert, which, as we know, suppresses digestion, it suppresses immune function, has all these other ramifications. So that's why I feel like this is such a powerful tool, in particular as it relates to health, because we can change the amygdala priming. We can adjust our reaction and our response to different situations that would previously have been stressful.
Yeah. Yeah. And if there's time, I'll take you through a simple tapping for stress. I hope to, I'm going to take you through some, a special kind of tapping for visualizing being where you want to be. And, maybe if there's time, we'll do some love seats for any subconscious blocks to your health goals that you want to bring up. So we'll see what the time is for this. I just want to give a few stories from my clients where it can show you how these subconscious blocks can sneak in and get in the way of your health goals. So one is the fear of being harassed or worse. That's led to a number of clients keeping on weight, even though they consciously wanted to get rid of it. They wanted to release that weight. Subconsciously, they didn't believe it was safe to do that. Some of them have been molested as children. Now, not everyone who is molested will develop weight issues, but for some, it's like the little kid says, okay, if I gain weight, they'll leave me alone. Makes sense for a 7-year-old. It's not so great when you grow up, but you're still playing that old rule. I had another client who was harassed at her job as an adult. And this led to her doing the same thing, putting on the weight and keeping it on just to keep safe. Now, none of them was consciously telling themselves, I need to put on weight to protect myself. But when we went looking with that tapping, they said something like, well, if I lose the weight, I'm not going to be safe. They're going to notice me. I had another client who realized while we were tapping that she was eating foods that caused health problems. This was a way she was making it fair for her sister. Now, my client had this successful business. I mean, she was making bank. She had a good marriage, great kids. They went on wonderful vacations. She had all the things, and her sister was struggling. And when we started tapping, what came up was, I can't be healthy because then it wouldn't be fair to my sister. And then there's loyalty issues. They can keep unhealthy habits in place, particularly I've found around recreating mother's health issues. I had a client who was eating the junk food that her mother used to eat. This was years after her mother had died. And my client was like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I just can't seem to stop. But when we went and I had her rate the statement, if I get healthy, I'll be disloyal to mom. She got a huge number on that. I was like, oh, wow, I hadn't even thought that, but that was where it was coming from. And these are just a few examples. There's others out there. I had one client who couldn't stop eating. You know, she was eating a lot more than she wanted to, and she had a plan and she couldn't seem to follow it. And when we went looking, she had an experience with a former boyfriend who had tried to control her food. And at the time, she's like, well, you can't make me. I'm going to eat whatever I want. And that became something that she continued to do even after this was a long gone ex. But she was still following that old rule of, I am going to show them I'm going to eat whatever I want. And then you guys are all too young for this one. For me, anyway, I had a rule from when I was growing up where girls simply weren't expected to be athletic. So I kind of avoid, and probably still do, avoid exercise. Simply because that was just not who I was supposed to be. So these are some of the kinds of subconscious rules that can underlie procrastination or sabotaging your health. Now, how do you change them? Well, that's tapping. Tapping is the way I've found to change those kinds of subconscious rules. So let's tap. All right, let me see where I am here. Okay. So I wanted to do a special kind of tapping. Ordinarily here, I would do some plain tapping. And these are the tapping points I showed you before. And I'm going to have a tapping video that I can share with you that will show you those points. And if we get into love seats, we'll be doing it then. But what I want to do is a visualization, and I'm going to use a different set of tapping points if I can find it. Give me a minute. There we go. Okay. So one of the things, well, let me just tell you about the tap along video. It's to use whenever you're procrastinating or avoiding taking an action. And you tap along with me in the video, and then you can use it to lower your resistance to doing whatever it is. It doesn't have to be health related. It can be anything. And to get that, and Amanda will share this later too, you just go to my website, unblockresults.com/Amanda. So,
I would say I'll put the link in. Let's just double check to make sure we got unblockresults.com/Amanda. I'm going to check because then we can double check and make sure it's working.
Did you get it?
Yes, I think. Let me see if this is the right one. I'm going to put it in the chat and you can just confirm for us, Nancy.
All right.
Is it that one?
Start tapping to stop procrastinating. Yes, that's the redirect. It's easy just to remember unblockresults.com/Amanda.
Amanda, perfect.
And it redirects to that.
Okay. So yeah, perfect. I'm going to put it in here. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I will be sure to share it out with the recording too, so people can get that.
Yeah. Great. And then, as I say, you can use it anytime. You can use it, for anything for the next, I don't know, however many years it's going to continue on the interwebs. But what I want to do right now is a visualization exercise with tapping to get you to see yourself as someone who does what you need to do to reach your health goals. You know how New Year's resolutions rarely work? Like, by February, most people have given up on the thing they were excited about on January 1st. Well, one of the main reasons that resolutions don't work is they usually conflict with how the person sees themselves. Mm-hmm. So that I'm going to exercise every day just isn't going to take if you don't see yourself as someone who regularly exercises. And even affirmations, which a lot of people think are great, and I think can be good, they usually don't stick, because when we say something like, well, I only eat healthy food, what we end up doing is affirming that negative voice that pops up with, who am I kidding? If there's a chocolate cake, I'm going to eat it, right? So that's why tapping is good if you're going to do affirmations, because you end up tapping on the negative voice that pops up, allowing that positive to come through. So what you want to do is change how you see yourself if you're going to make changes for your health. The best way I've found to do this is to visualize yourself as the person who does what you need to do to be healthy. It's not just visualizing yourself with the results. There's some research that shows if you just think of that, then you're much more likely to not do what you need to do to get there. You're less likely to get your results. So you want to visualize yourself taking the actions, because that's just who you are. And you visualize yourself taking them just easily. It's just what you do.
Well, and I think
Now, of
that's a
course,
key thing, Nancy, because again, like you said, visualize yourself actually enjoying taking the actions. Because a lot of times we can maybe even we can logically like think about like, okay, I could make myself go to the gym every day, or I could make myself eat, spinach and eggs for breakfast or something. But if we actually are like, even as we're picturing it, we're thinking how much we're not going to be enjoying it, that's not going to
yeah,
be sustainable. So I love what you said is like really visualize the actions, and in a way that can be pleasurable and enjoyable, so that it's just a part of what you know to be true about how you show up in your life.
exactly, exactly. It's just it becomes who you are. It
Mhm.
probably won't start out when you're doing it. I recommend you do this more often than just this one time we're going to do it. But you visualize yourself doing the things and enjoying them, and it's easy and it's just who you are. So, and you can just visualize without tapping, but I always want to encourage you to add in the tapping, because that's going to start to whittle away any of those subconscious blocks that might have been driving your unhealthy behavior. And those blocks will get triggered when you try to go exercise or eat a different way or something like that. So when you're tapping while visualizing taking the right actions, you're going to whittle away at the negative stuff. All right. So first of all, I want to teach you a sort of, if you know tapping, you might not know the fingertip circle. This is what I like to use when doing a visualization, because you're less likely to hit yourself in the eye. Okay. So everyone do this along with me. Take your thumb and your index finger and go on either side of your other thumb's fingernail. Okay. You just sort of rub up and down there. And you're going to do that on your index finger, on the sides of your middle finger, sides of your ring finger, sides of your little finger. And then just with a couple fingers to the side of your hand under your little finger, just the side of your hand there. And then the front of your wrist. And then you're back to your thumb. So you just made a circle. So you go around all the fingers and then the side of your hand and then your wrist and back. So everyone keep doing that. And when you're comfortable, you can go ahead and close your eyes. Or if you'd rather, just look off into the distance with a soft focus. And you're going to see yourself doing the things that you want to do to be healthy, just because that's who you are now. And you can do this fingertip circle as slowly or as fast as you want to, whatever feels comfortable to you. I'm going to talk with you about, some ways that you might see yourself taking healthy actions. Take whatever I say that serves you. Let go of the rest. You can add in what you know will be good for you. If I don't say it, you go ahead and think it anyway. See it, feel it. So see yourself waking up in the morning, getting up refreshed from a decent night's sleep. And as you go through your day, you're going to find that you're listening to your body, really paying attention to what it's telling you, what it needs, and you're going to honor what your body asks for. Because that's the kind of person you are now. So whenever you're thirsty, you reach for water. That's what you really want anyway. That's what your body is asking for. And other options, they just don't appeal to you like water does. You're going to eat the healthy meals that you've planned and prepared. You take time to sit down. No standing it for lunch. You're sitting down, you're relaxing, you're really savoring your food. It's just what you do. And it feels good to know that you're feeding your body the right foods. If your body needs fuel between meals, you just automatically reach for healthy foods, the kind of thing that you do. You don't even think about any other possibilities. In fact, whenever you go to the grocery store, you find yourself reaching for the healthy foods on your list. You stock up on the good proteins, the veggies and the fruits that really support your body. You don't even notice the other options. Your eyes just sort of slide over them and get on to what you're really looking for, the healthy stuff. Because who you are is someone who stocks your kitchen with only healthy food. You like to make it easy for yourself to follow your health plan. Because who you are is someone who eats healthy. And you love to move your body every day. Sometimes it might be at a yoga class or Pilates, or maybe you lift weights. Maybe you ride your bike one day, or you dance in the living room, or you take a brisk walk in the neighborhood. Whatever it is, every day you really enjoy moving your body. It's just what you do now that you're keeping yourself healthy. And at the end of your day, you give yourself plenty of time to wind down and relax. You're going to get to bed at the right time for your body so you can have plenty of sleep. Because that's what your body deserves. That's what you deserve. You know you deserve to be healthy. And that's who you are. And when you're ready, you can stop the tapping and open your eyes. Okay, that was a little flyer on my part. Did anyone have any ideas like, ooh, that and I want to do something else, or absolutely not that, but this?
Your voice is so soothing, Nancy. It was like a meditation. Thank you.
Thank you. I put you all to
Yes,
sleep.
thank you. I was thinking the same thing. I just felt like I was relaxing. It was, thank you.
Thank you.
I would agree. It's very relaxing. And you know what's interesting? So, what I found coming up is, and I'd love your perspective to tap on this or think about this, is yes, there were certain elements that naturally felt like, oh, that does feel enjoyable and pleasurable and stuff. But I also am like, but eating the brownie or eating the cookie also is enjoyable and pleasurable. So I was kind of like, oh, like it's almost like they both are. So it's like,
Yeah.
how do you pick the one and not the other type of a thing? Does that make sense?
Well, I think if yes, and if you're going to do this again, maybe there'll be a recording that you want to tap along with again. Remind yourself that yeah, I like the brownie, but I really like to be healthy. I love the way it feels to be healthy.
So it's almost like
look the way I wanna look.
strengthening the longer term effect as opposed to just the taste in the moment or something like that.
Yeah. And in fact, I didn't put this in here because I don't know where people are on this, but if for you it's okay to occasionally have something, you can say, most of the time I eat healthy. Every now and then I can have a treat, but most of the time I love it. But if that's not good for you, then what you want to focus on is I really, really love being healthy. I really enjoy that feeling more than I enjoy the feeling of the brownie and the way I'm feeling after it.
Mm-hmm.
So does that sound like something you can try?
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
It's to like kind of, it's again, where are you putting your focus?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Amanda, I want you to drive the bus. I
Okay.
could teach everyone plain old tapping for stress. We could do a love seat. We could do, what do you think? What's next?
I am open to what would be most like of value for this community, for this group. So is there anyone that has, I don't know if you know how to do the chat features, but there's a reaction. If you look under the thing where it says more, there's usually reactions where you can like raise your hand. If there's anyone here that would like to do and is open to do an actual love seat, we call it love seat, where essentially it's like you're willing to be a oh, Karen jumped in right away. She's willing to be an example and kind of talk about
All
maybe
right.
something that you struggle with from a health perspective or making healthy choices. And then we can see how it's modeled to work through an example. I think that's really powerful. One thing I've found that being in Nancy's world and her community for, like I said, many times, is oftentimes what is coming up for one person, there's some kind of similarity or relatable component, if not exactly the same. It's close enough that you still receive tremendous value from going through the actual tapping experience while somebody else is doing their own process.
Yeah. So that means everybody taps. When Karen and I are tapping, everyone taps. You don't have to repeat what we say. Karen's going to repeat what I say. But you just tap along with us. And let me just, for those of you who've never tapped before, you're going to be tapping most of the time with 2 fingers, about as hard as if you were drumming your fingertips on a tabletop. So you'll tap. You're not going to be leaving a bruise, but you're also not whiffing it. It should just be kind of solid. Again, I'll show you the points, but you'll tap. I'll be tapping. So just tap where I tap. So right where one of your eyebrows starts, the side of your eye, under your eye, between your nose and your lip, on that line on your chin. So not down low, but right under your lip. And then the next part, you can do it with 2 fingers. It just takes too long to find. So make a fist with the flat part of your knuckle. Go where a man would knot his tie, right on your collarbone there. Next one, take all 4 fingers, go about 4 inches down from your armpit, kind of where your bra strap goes on your side. And then the last one is the very top of your head. So take all 5 fingers, and some people like to make little circles there. Those are the spots. And I'm going to be doing it. Karen's going to be doing it. We're all going to be doing it. But you can watch me if you forget, wait, where's the next one? You'll see me doing it. Okay. If you want to, you can pick something that you're perhaps working on and having some difficulties with in your own health journey, to procrastinating, exercising, or you reach for something you shouldn't reach for. Just think about that now, and then when we tap, you don't have to think about it anymore. It'll be there in the front of your brain, and that the tapping that you're going to do with us will actually go towards that. It's a really cool thing that happens. All right, Karen, that gave you lots of time to think about. What do you want to tap on? What do you want to change?
Mostly my digestion. I just don't seem to digest things fully, even though I take probiotics and I take, and I have a digestive tab that I take, but my digestion doesn't feel healthy.
Okay.
Is that enough information?
Well, I'm going to ask you some more.
Okay.
So first of all, let me be clear. I don't promise medical changes at all. I just don't. Not my thing. Some people will swear that when they tap on the stuff going on, that their body will change. And if that happens, great, but I'm not promising that. So the first thing I want to ask you, is there something that you feel like maybe you should be doing or doing more of to assist your digestion that you're not doing? I don't know, chewing extra times, drinking apple cider vinegar. I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, I can't do apple cider vinegar because it does something to my to my gums. What I should be doing. Yeah, I'm not sure. Give me some other suggestions. What?
Oh, okay. Well, if nothing comes to mind, then we're going to go with this. All right. Did anybody in your family have similar digestive issues in the past?
Yes, my mother.
Okay.
Not a surprise, is it?
Okay. Give me a second here. I'm writing down possible things here.
Yeah, I don't have all the issues, but she had diverticulitis. She had what was the other thing?
Did you call her mom?
When?
Did you call her mom, mother? What?
Yeah, mom.
Mom. Okay. All right, so I'm going to have you say something out loud. And what I want you to do is say it out loud and then rate it on a scale of 0 to 100%, how powerful it hits you. It might be like a physical reaction or an emotional reaction, or just, you might be like me. I don't get either of those. I just get a number pop into my head between 0 and 100%. 0 would be like, there's nothing to this. I don't react to it at all. 100% would be like, whoa, that's huge. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so say out loud, if I'm healthy, I'll be disloyal to mom.
If I'm healthy, I'll be disloyal to mom.
0 to 100%.
Maybe a 10. Nothing.
10 out of 100. That's not a lot. Okay. Okay, let's say it a different way. I have to have digestive issues to be just like mom.
I have to have digestive issues to be just like mom. I don't want to be just like mom. So
I know you don't, and this is not what you really want.
This is a subconscious thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Give it to me again. I
Okay.
have digestive issues to be just like mom. About 30.
30, creeping up there a little bit. Okay, I have to have digestive issues to be loyal to mom.
I have to have digestive issues to be loyal to mom. About the same. 30.
30?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to do something that's going to, I don't have anything to measure. I mean, we sort of have something to measure, but they're so small. I don't think those are the main things here. I just want to see if we can bring anything down. So let's just see what comes up. Okay. So you tap, everybody taps along while I'm tapping. And Karen, repeat what I say. Even though I have these digestive issues.
Even though I have these digestive issues.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though my body is having digestive issues.
Even though my body is having digestive issues.
I deeply and completely accept myself and my body.
I deeply and completely accept myself and my body.
So even though I've got some digestive issues like mom did.
Even though I have some digestive issues like mom did.
I'm willing to understand why I'm having them.
I'm willing to understand why I'm having them.
And of course, don't repeat this. Of course, I'm not going after the medical reasons. I'm going for any emotional kind of reasons that might be there. Okay.
Yes.
These digestive issues.
These digestive issues.
So answer the question, Karen, when did they start for you? What was going on in your life?
I probably had them for years. Probably, yeah. Probably 20 years.
Okay. What was going on in your life at that part of your life?
I had financial issues.
Okay. So try this one on for sides. It was easier to pay attention to digestive issues than my financial issues.
It was easier to pay attention to my digestive issues than my financial issues. It's a good one.
I didn't want to think about the financial issues.
I didn't want to think about the financial issues.
So it was good to have some digestive issues.
So it was good to have some digestive issues.
By the way, did those financial issues resolve themselves?
Not completely, no.
Okay. So as long as I have financial issues, I should have digestive issues.
So as long as I have financial issues, I should have digestive issues.
Okay. Wow. Repeat this after me. No way.
No way.
I don't need I don't need digestive issues on top of the financial issues.
I don't need digestive issues on top of the financial issues.
In fact, it would be better for me.
In fact,
and my finances.
Be better for me and my finances.
If I didn't have those digestive issues.
If I didn't have those digestive issues.
So I can choose to let go of the digestive issues.
So I can choose to let go of the digestive issues.
Whether I have financial issues or not.
Whether I have financial issues or not.
Okay, how did that feel to say all that stuff that I made you just say?
Fabulous. I think
okay, good.
I have a feeling like we're clearing both.
Excellent. Perfect. All right. And I won't be disloyal to mom.
And I won't be disloyal to mom.
If I let go of these digestive issues.
If I let go of these digestive issues.
Tell me, is your mother still alive?
No. Yeah, she's
okay.
been gone. long time.
When she was around, did she want you to have digestive issues?
No. Is that a question? No, she did
Yeah.
not.
She didn't. Okay. I mean, some mothers do. And if that's the case, tell me. But
She
if she
would not
didn't,
consciously want me to, but yeah.
no. So actually, my mother wanted me to be healthy.
Actually, my mother wanted me to be healthy.
For me to be loyal to my mother,
For me to be loyal to my mother,
I get to be healthy.
I get to be healthy.
Okay. Deep breath in and out again. All right. As I said, we didn't have a whole lot to measure there, but we did a little bit on the loyalty thing. So let's see.
I've got to tell you, that was awesome.
Was it? Does it feel
I
different in your
already-
body?
I just feel we released a ton of stuff that I had never thought of before.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, the only thing I have to measure, though, is this one. Say out loud, I have to have digestive issues to be loyal to mom.
I have to have digestive issues to be loyal to mom.
How powerful was that? 0 to 100.
Maybe 10.
Okay, so it came down from 30 to 10. But other stuff was you felt like you could. Some people can feel the energy changing and things
Well, that's what
relieving.
I felt. I mean, just putting the financial and the digestive together, I think is really important. I think it's a real aha for me.
Yeah.
So we could both.
Yes. And you'd see that's not something I put on the slide deck because it's not something that would ordinarily come up, but because it happened at the same time, then I'm looking for ways that might have been connected. And that can happen for anyone. If you have a health issue come up, sometimes you can find that it's related to something that was going on at that time when it started.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely a very important connection. Thank you. It was
My
beautiful.
pleasure. So did
Yeah,
anyone
that was
else
really
feel
cool.
did
That was
anyone else feel something happen with that for
Well,
you?
I was saying, Karen, like I just witnessed like your whole demeanor, your whole thing just shifted. It was like this whole like someone turned on the light bulb of like, holy cow, I never even realized that or made that connection, So now there can be more empowerment around both areas. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. This is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Does anyone else have something they'd like to volunteer or open up and be willing to explore? Anyone? I know it's a little putting on the spot. Aubrey, you want to do it?
Sure. Hi guys, sorry I was late tonight. Okay. So that was really helpful, by the way. I have digestive issues and they did not show up around financial stuff, but it was like family stuff, as a young adult. So that was really helpful. Okay, so what I was thinking of is that I have a hard time wanting to exercise or move my body much mostly because I think it lets my trauma feelings kind of flow in my body. Like I feel more in tune with my trauma when I open my body up, even like versus this, like open or hands up or uh heart rate going up, like my blood is pumping and I shut down. Like I would go to a yoga class and just end up in child's pose halfway through and just not want to keep going. So I feel a desire to start moving my body and feeling better in my body. And walking even is kind of hard, but like I have done some of that, but it's going to be winter soon. So I would love to clear some of what's stopping me there.
All right. So Aubrey, say this one out loud. It's not safe to exercise.
It's not safe to exercise.
0 to 100%. How powerful did that hit you?
Like 18. I get the
18?
number. I have the number pop in my head like Nancy. So I'm like, I don't know why it's 18 and not 20, but okay.
So
Anyway.
18 out of 100. So that's not that much. How about it's not safe to feel my body?
It's not safe to feel my body. That's like 87.
Okay. Are you willing to tap on that one?
Yeah. I'm already like, I'm feeling.
Did you feel it somewhere in your body?
Okay.
When you said it, did it show up somewhere in your body?
Yes. Yeah. Like in my gut.
Okay.
Kind of between my heart and my stomach right here. Yeah.
Okay. So that solar plexus, really? Like
I'm like trying to figure, it's like higher. It's more like heart chakra. It's
Right,
like
okay.
kind of low, but yeah, it's like heart chakra.
All right, so in your heart chakra, let's just see what's
Mhm.
going on. Okay. Now, I might have you fill in the blank. And the rules are, just I'll say something, you repeat what I say, and then finish that sentence with whatever comes to mind. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody's tapping. Even though part of me decided
Even though part of me decided
it's not safe to feel my body,
it's not safe to feel my body,
another part of me knows it is safe now.
another part of me knows it is safe now.
I am willing to talk to both parts of me.
I'm willing to talk to both parts of me.
Even though part of me says it's not safe to feel my body.
Even though part of me says it's not safe to feel my body.
And I feel that in my heart chakra.
And I feel that in my heart chakra.
I'm curious what that's all about.
And I'm curious what that's all about.
So even though part of me says it's not safe to feel my body,
So even though part of me says it's not safe to feel my body,
I am safe with that belief,
I'm safe with that belief,
and I'll be safe when I let it go.
and I'll be safe when I let it go.
It's not safe to feel my body.
It's not safe to feel my body.
I can feel that in my heart chakra.
I can feel that in my heart chakra.
And the thing that my heart chakra wants me to know about that is
And the thing that my heart chakra wants me to know about that is that I was taught to be afraid of my body, but I don't need that anymore.
okay. This is something I was taught when I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who would be the one person you said taught you that?
Mostly my mom.
Okay. I'm guessing she was trying to keep you safe. Okay. So it's not like we're going to say she was a bad person for doing this, but she wanted to keep you safe, and that was one way she thought she could. Now, your mother is a very wise woman, right? She got everything right. No. So I learned from mom that, what did you say about your body?
That it's safe to feel my body.
Yeah, I learned from mom it's not safe to feel my body. But actually, what I know now is
What I know now is it's powerful to be connected, my soul and my body to be connected.
do you think you can keep yourself safer when you're aware of what's going on in your body?
Yeah.
So it's actually safer to feel my body.
It's actually safer to feel my body.
And when I feel my body, I know what's going on in the world better.
When I feel my body, I know what's going on in the world better.
I know mom was trying to keep me safe,
I know mom was trying to keep me safe,
but I'm in charge of me now.
but I'm in charge of me now.
And I'm going to keep myself safe.
And I'm going to keep myself safe.
And one way I'm going to do that
And one way I'm going to do that
is to feel my body.
is to feel my body.
Deep breath in and out again. Right. I just want to see where we are on this one. We might have some more to do here, but say out loud, it's not safe to feel my body.
It's not safe to feel my body.
So you're at 100%.
22.
Okay. That's a lot better than 87. Was it still in your heart chakra or did it move somewhere else?
It started to move to my throat a little bit.
Okay. I'm going to do one more round on that one. Even though some part of me still says it's not safe to feel my body,
Even though some part of me says it's still not safe to feel my body,
I'm okay with that belief and I'll be okay when it's gone.
I'm okay with that belief and I'll be okay when it's gone.
So even if somebody's still saying it's not safe to feel my body,
So even though some part of me is still saying it's not safe to feel my body,
I can keep that belief. If it serves me, let it go if it doesn't.
I can keep that belief if it serves me, let it go if it doesn't.
So even though it's not safe to feel my body,
So even though it's not safe to feel my body,
I feel something in my throat,
I feel something in my throat.
I'm willing to understand this.
I'm willing to understand.
It's not safe to feel my body.
It's not safe to feel my body.
And the thing I really want to shout about this is,
And the thing I really want to shout about this is that it hurt me for so long believing that I needed to disconnect. And that wasn't okay.
and I deserve to be okay.
And I deserve to be okay. Yeah.
I deserve to be safe.
I deserve to be safe.
I deserve to be in my body.
I deserve to be in my body.
So it's time for me to feel my body.
So it's time for me to feel my body.
It's safe to feel my body.
It's safe to feel my body.
It's okay to feel my body.
It's okay to feel my body.
Right in the middle of your forehead, Aubrey. It is time for me to feel my body.
It is time for me to feel my body.
Okay, this spot that I'm having you tap on, that's a point for trauma. We're not really getting into the trauma here so much, but I know it's there. So I just wanted you to do a little bit there to see if you can release some of it. Okay, this isn't a great place to be diving into trauma in a love seat like this, okay? But if you feel it coming up, you can just tap right there, okay? All right, so how are you feeling right now? Just check in with your body. Is there still something in your throat, somewhere else?
I feel more flow. Like,
Good. All right, so say out loud, it's not safe to feel my body.
it's not safe to feel my body.
0 to 100%. How powerful was it that time?
Like a 4.
4 out of 100? Okay.
That
Now,
was awesome.
I'm
Wow.
glad I came today. Thank you, Nancy.
oh, it's my pleasure. So everyone, when you do one of these and you bring something way down, what can happen over the next day or two is it might stay there or it might take a bounce. It won't usually go all the way back to where it started. But that just means there's some more tapping to be done on what's left. But also it might continue to keep releasing, because once you've started releasing that energy, especially this old energy, sometimes it just keeps going and it takes a little bit longer. So, maybe in a couple days you'll say it's not safe to feel my body and it'll be a big fat 0. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. All right.
What
How
I
are you feeling
love
now?
about this, Nancy, here is that this and both Aubrey and Karen, thank you so much for your vulnerability, right? And your willingness to demonstrate and to share tonight, because I think these are two like beautiful examples of how so much of the time what's actually going on with our health challenges is related to something entirely different. And if we're just staying looking at only kind of the strategies and the tactics that I was talking about before, that didn't touch any of this stuff that we just talked about, right? Karen with the financial piece, Aubrey with the past trauma piece. It wouldn't have even touched that. So it's almost like trying to, I don't know, take water out of a boat that has a hole in it and is leaking at the bottom. Like you're never gonna to find that balance if we're not actually also. I think it's a holistic approach. But thank you so much for being willing to demonstrate, and Nancy, for your, like I said, your expertise, because this is a critical component, is doing that deeper subconscious work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember the time. It is.
We are coming up on the top of our time. So if
Okay.
anyone has a last minute question before we wrap up here, for Nancy, I don't think we have time to do another love seat in 2 minutes, but if anyone has any question, or if you want to find out more about how to connect with Nancy, like I said, I know that she shared with us that great resource, and I'll send it out with the replay as well. Nancy, one thing I would love you to share, you gave us the procrastination kind of tap along video, but what is your recommendation in terms of frequency of tapping? Obviously, when we can have somebody like you to guide us through, it can be more, customized and so forth. But would you have any recommendations about how to use this as an ongoing practice?
Well, I'll say when I'm working with clients, I look for the change to really happen in our sessions together. So I don't really demand or expect even for a client to be tapping outside of our sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that is because I don't tap on my own unless I get really pushed to do it. And a lot of tapping practitioners don't. But, it can be really useful. If nothing else, if you just tap a few rounds, it's going to calm you down. It lowers the stress. And that can be helpful when you want to make a decision with the front part of your brain instead of the lizard part of your brain. If
Mhm.
you're more relaxed, it's easier to say, okay, I choose that, whatever it is. So whenever you're coming up on a big decision, or if you're feeling stressed, I just, do a little bit of tapping just to feel a little bit better.
Mhm.
Some people swear that by tapping every day, just set your alarm for 10 minutes and just tap, or tap while watching a TV show. Karen?
How do we replace the things that you said? Do we need to be saying anything, or can we just be thinking in general and do the tapping?
I mean, you can learn how to do tapping, and you can put in your own stuff, and you can try things. I mean, I do a stream of consciousness tapping sometimes for people, just whatever comes to mind, let it out. But honestly, if you're feeling stressed or anything that's on the surface for you, just tapping is going to release it. It's going to bring it down anay.
Right.
If your stressor is still there, it's not going to make it go away, but it's going to make you feel a bit better. The words are mostly to keep us focused on something, so that you don't start thinking about, what you're going to, the next vacation you want to take, or what's on the shopping list, or something like that. So at a certain level, yeah, you want to use the words, but when you're just starting out, just some simple tapping every day is fine.
Right. Thank you.
I also find it really helpful with children. So my girls think I'm kind of nuts sometimes, but if they're really stressed or overwhelmed or upset about something at school or a friend thing, they'll often be talking and describing to me, and I'll say, just do this when you're talking to me, and they'll just have them, even if it's sometimes they don't go through, sometimes they'll go through the spots, but sometimes just do this while they're explaining the story or kind of sharing, and just to kind of bring that cortisol response down.
Yeah, it's great for that. When my daughter was an infant, I would, as part of bedtime routine, and instead of tapping, I would rub, because it's more conducive to sleep, right? And I would rub the points, and I would go around the points and talk through her day. And sometimes I would stop, and she would reach up with her little hand and put my fingers back on her face, because it feels good. It just feels really relaxing. Good thing you've got your daughters willing to go along with you. Sometimes teenagers aren't so. For them, sometimes it works to say, I know this really weird thing, because some teenagers think it's cool to do weird things. I don't know, and they'd be more willing to do it then. But, my daughter absolutely positively refuses to do it now, because
Right, because mom does it too much. Yeah, for sure. That's funny. Well, thank you so much, Nancy. I feel like this was highly valuable and really great, examples of kind of those deeper layers of different life circumstances that impact our health on a regular basis. So I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you
And thank you,
both so
Karen
much.
and Aubrey.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Karen.
Yes. Have a great
Appreciate
night.
it. Good night.